everyone, welcome to TGIF, your Friday source for the latest and greatest happening. Over 800k customers today trust Microsoft Entra to protect their identities and also to secure access with multiple identities and network access solution. If you look at it, transparency is at the heart of earning this trust. And as part of this episode, we are looking at how we can enable the IT decision makers and also administrators so that they can make the most out of Microsoft Entra. To take this discussion forward, we have Shobit Sahai, who is a Principal Group Product Manager for Microsoft Entra, to share some thoughts on this. Thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Shobit, as you know, there's a lot of investment that has been done with regards to trust and transparency.
Yes.
And you have been leading that space in innovation. We would like to know why transparency is important for customers and what Microsoft is doing to enhance this experience for customers.
Absolutely. I mean, when I talk to customers, when customers move to the cloud, one of the biggest challenges for them is discovery and visibility into all the changes that are coming up. And it's often hard to sort of react to those changes. Just for example, last year we introduced about more than 100 product updates in Microsoft Entra.
That's right.
So to make it easy for customers to discover them so they can act on it and just deploy them in their environment is really important from a transparency perspective.
That's awesome. I think that's something that customers are looking forward for as well.
Yep.
With regards to adoption, I think that is very key to any organization as they adopt new technologies, and also with respect to Microsoft Entra. Giving them visibility on the transparency in the space of adoption. Is there anything that we are doing
Yes.
to enhance that and accelerate that?
Absolutely. One of the critical things that we've been looking at is how do we expand the identity's best practices to our customers? And the way we have done that is through the use of something that we call Entra recommendations.
Okay.
And this is the same concept that also is spinning up the identity secure score and helps customers improve their security posture all up. So we're pretty excited about introducing a whole new set of recommendations in this space as we are introducing new services. So customers have real-time in-context guides that they can go use and find it easier for them to deploy the Entra services.
That's great. I think if they get recommendation and the secure score that you're talking about, that would add a lot of value in this space,
Yep.
as they manage. And I think this brings in a lot of enhancement, which really helps the IT admins. Right?
Yes, IT admins love this kind of stuff. They want like a guided experience that allows them to like go click a few buttons and have things rolling. And we definitely track that from an engineering perspective to how easy it is becoming. And we have definitely seen a lot of feedback with recommendations on customers liking that sort of concept. So we're pretty excited about rolling that out more broadly.
Great. And also, I'm sure if transparency is something that we are looking at with respect to change management, and we're looking at adoption, I think there is a lot with respect to operations as well, because that is
Yes.
again a very important space for customers.
Absolutely, and even more so for identity, because if identity is down, the world is down.
Exactly.
So from our perspective, we look at identities SLA, which is the 4 nines that we promise, and giving visibility to customers directly around how their SLA is going. But we are sort of expanding that to customers' tailored experiences. So being able to look at an individual tenant's experience and them to see, okay, yeah, this is the SLA that they're getting, and also extending it to different scenarios that they might be going after. So things
great.
like SAML or MFA or conditional access, which are critical for them from a security and productivity perspective.
That's awesome. I think this is a true transparency, what each and every customer would be looking for.
Yes.
Right. So that's awesome. Can we see that
Absolutely.
in action so that people get a glimpse into how this would look like?
Absolutely. All right, so here we are on the home page of what's new. This is going into the public preview very soon. And what you see here is a set of customized tabs. So we have the highlights tab where customers can discover the top announcement or the top releases. And then specifically, they can also look at roadmap and change announcements tabs. The roadmap tab is the one that sort of lists out all the product capabilities that we are launching, and customers can filter it based on release dates or add their own customized filter, such as the value like different components of the architecture that they want to select. And individually, they can come back and click on any of them. And that opens up this new page that gives them a full context of what's available in this preview or this new feature, and where they can learn new steps about deploying this capability.
This is awesome. I think we do get a lot of questions on the roadmap, what's in the roadmap, and
Yeah.
it's across for all the products.
That's right. I mean, I
So
think this is a big journey and has been a journey for us for a long time. So, really excited about this capability.
great.
The other area that I hear a lot from customers is discovering change management. So, changes to a specific feature, or hey, what kind of deprecation do I need to plan for? Because for a big organization, that can take a long time.
That's
So, we
right.
also sort of added that in the same pane, and customers can sort of discover that and take action accordingly.
Okay, great. This is truly amazing. I think this adds a lot of value with
Yep.
respect to what's new.
Yeah, they don't have to go and look at the different blogs, discover things
Exactly.
in different
That's right.
places. It's all available in context of them using the Entra product.
That's right. And especially when customers meet Microsoft, any representative, the first question is on features and
Features and what's the
roadmaps
roadmap?
and what's,
Yeah.
and also the change announcements that you just showed.
Yeah.
With respect to adoption, what is it and how? What is the kind of experience that we are going to give,
Yeah.
and having that transparency in the place?
Absolutely. The first thing that we are doing for customers is giving them transparency into their current adoption with respect to the licenses that they own and how many of those licenses are they actually using. Or in some
Okay.
cases, they might be accidentally using more licenses, so they can rectify that to be compliant. So the way we have done this is we've introduced two sort of SKUs, which are predominant SKUs for Entra ID today, which is Plan P1 and Plan P2. And customers can come in quickly to see how many users do they have across both of the scenarios. So for example, in this case, I can clearly see I have 844 licenses, but only 5 of them are currently active. So that gives me a big sort of reason to sort of grow this customer base and get the full value out of the stack. And similarly, I can come back and see the same for the premium 2 features. We are using two different capabilities to measure these scenarios. So we are looking risk-based conditional access for identity plan P2, and we're looking at conditional access as identity plan P1.
Okay.
But we are planning to expand this with the new set of capabilities that you're launching and the new SKUs within the Entra product family.
Okay. This is a great insight.
Yeah.
As we roll out, how much has been used? I think this is something that customer would really be interested in. Once it's launched.
Yeah, customers definitely want to get that visibility, and I think I've also seen this come from our partners who are also very motivated to know how many licenses have been used in a particular tenant. So for them, it's a great visibility too. So yeah, pretty
Great.
excited.
This adds value to not just customers but also partners who are managing,
Correct.
right? And with respect to operations, you did mention that there are
Actually, there's one more thing on the adoption. So we talked about Identity Secure Score, which is our toolkit to basically tell how secure our posture is, and we're pretty excited about introducing new set of secure score points and new signals that we are adding in the space, and all of that shows up within the recommendations tab, which is the engine that tells customers, here's the best practices that you're going to go use. So for example, in the screen, I can look at like, hey, there's a recommendation here which is marked as high. It says remove the overprivileged permissions for your applications because that's a recipe for security attacks and leaves a lot of vulnerabilities.
Exactly.
So I can quickly come in and get clear instructions of what I should be doing through an action plan, and also get visibility into the specific list of the impacted resources. So it's not just a blind spot, but I have all the details available for me right in that same context. So from an operations perspective, there are two things that we're really excited about. So sometime last year, we introduced this concept of SLA per tenant, which basically goes beyond the standard 4 nines SLAs that we offer. And we pretty much meet that, as you can see that from the bottom of the screen, that for the last 12 months, we've been averaging about 5 nines.
That's right.
But from a customer's perspective, and those customers that have more than 5,000 seats, we now have an ability for them to go and look at their individual tenants SLA. So how are they sort of getting that value? And you can discover that in this case, I'm meeting all that bar. And they can actually use this information to go and extend of any SLA credits and make sure that they're getting a reliant service from Microsoft Entra. One other thing that we're really excited about is actually expanding this even further through what we're calling scenario monitoring. And within scenario monitoring, actually I'll go back here. Within scenario monitoring, there are 4 new scenarios that we have come up with, which are critical scenarios for customers like MFA, SAML sign-ins, conditional access, and things of that nature, that allows customers to go and deep dive into specific scenarios, and if they are being available for a longer duration. So in this case, let's take a look at sign-ins from a compliant device, or let's sign requiring Microsoft Entra MFA because MFA is critical. And as an admin or as an ops engineer, I can pretty much come back and see how the sign-ins are being completed.
Okay, so this is where they get the sign-in completion and sign-in failure volume.
Correct. So they
Okay.
can come back and look at how many sign-in failures are they having, and get better visibility into like how many users had failed sign-in attempts and things
Okay.
of that nature. And we are planning to expand this with a new set of scenarios that goes beyond just the primary auth SLA that we promise.
Okay.
And this also helps us internally to know, if you're meeting the customer's requirement. And then, like I said, identity is at the backbone. Like if identity is
That's
down, the
true.
world is down. So having this deeper level of insights really helps customers and something that we're excited to bring forward.
Yeah, so that they can take those informed decisions as
Yeah.
they move, right?
Yes.
And this transparency is really great. I think this really helps the customer in understanding the sign-in completion volume as against the sign-in failure volume as well.
Absolutely. And like I said, we will be extending this to more scenarios across the board. And especially as we launch new products, we want to make sure that we support all of those products as well with scenario monitoring.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Shobit. This
Thank you so
was
much.
an amazing set of information, and I think because you are an SME in this space and working closely in building the transparency for Microsoft Entra, hearing from you was really great. So with that, thanks a lot for joining. As you saw, there's a lot of investment that we have done around transparency and trust, which is core to Microsoft. And you will see a lot more features and functionalities coming, which would really help you in this space and to take informed decision at the right time. With that, thank you for joining in. Stay tuned in for more latest and greatest updates that we bring you